Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Excel today. Today's topic is Power BI, and yeah, we're back. We're back again. Like as we promised, we're here once a week now. It's not always the same day, but we are here every week, and yeah, we're doing Power BI today. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Joe, you have some big news. I heard you are in a new place.
Yeah. As you can see in my background, I did move. It's currently 11 o'clock where I am. I have moved back to the East Coast because I am buying a house for me and my family, which is really awesome.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'll
congratulations, congratulations,
yeah,
Joe.
thank you. Yeah, super excited, but that's not going to deter us from having these shows and having a lot of fun on them.
Yeah,
So
now we have both coasts covered.
yeah, same.
West Coast and East Coast.
So, but yeah, super excited to be here today talking about Power BI. I mean, Power BI is just one of my favorite applications. I think I probably teach it at least 2 times a week, and it never gets old. It's just always amazing.
Yeah, well, the amount of updates they do on Power BI, it's always new, and so there's
Oh yeah,
always something new to learn or something a new feature that maybe they move to another place, and sometimes they change the entire ribbon and stuff like that, or just like they move one thing to another place, and so it's you always have to be on top of your game when it comes to Power BI. You always have to be
oh
learning.
yeah,
It is the definition of a lifelong learning software that you always have to be on top of. Like
forever.
Excel, let's say like Excel, you can learn like 80% of it, and you'll be good for pretty much ever.
Yeah,
But Power BI,
exactly.
it's just constantly evolving, and you just got to be on top of it. So it's yeah, it's lifelong learning.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hello, Eben. Thank you for joining us. And then, of course, I'm gonna get right into the mugs because we've been forgetting to do it so many times. Today,
Wow.
I have we were a Red Hat training partner, so I just have a little Red Hat thing. They sent a this is actually a really nice mug. This is a Yeti one. Again, we're not being we're not getting compensated or anything like that, but it's a super nice coffee mug. They
It looks
have
pretty sturdy.
yeah, they were just sending out what you call it, kits with all their gear and everything like that, and they're just like, who wants one? I was like, hey, I'm gonna take one, see what they got. You know what I mean? And this great Yeti cup was in there.
I don't have a cup for you today because, well, it's in storage, but
You're excused. You're excused.
my virtual cup. I do have these cool blue light glasses. They help me when when I'm staring at the screen for 24 hours. I always recommend doing that though. Get blue light glasses. They're pretty cheap too. They're all over the place. They're like $2.
Yeah, actually, I have the coating in my glasses, the blue light coating as well. These are actually
Yeah.
pretty old glasses. Hello, Balrog Wings. Good to see you. I know you join us a lot. And even we will get some DAX. I think we're going to cover some DAX as well here today, if I'm not mistaken. DAX expression. Um,
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. Yeah, you can.
my voice is low. That's a rarity.
That I was gonna say the same thing.
All right.
You know
Well,
what? Yeah,
hopefully it's better. I doubled it up.
we probably won't get into DAX fully today, but I think this is a good topic to have for our next show. Maybe
Yeah.
if you want to cover just DAX expressions and data mining tools, I think that would be great.
Yeah, we can do that next week.
Yeah,
And then
awesome. Yeah,
speaking here, Mike, the mic is literally, you guys can't see it, but it's literally just to the left of me. So maybe I'm having a little bit of mic issues, but let me just turn it all the way up. There we go. So
oh, I can hear
volume
you
is all the
really
way
good now.
up. You know what? This is the same settings I've had forever, and so things change though. This is a cloud-based OBS, so um, they're always updating too. So maybe they mess with their
Change
audio
the
settings
yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh yeah, and just some quick site updates, real quick. We have the shorts still coming out. I know, Joe. We talked about this last week too. You just finished up a whole bunch of them. We also have some Adobe shorts coming, guys, and also we just got a whole bunch of pro dev shorts, or professional development shorts. But those are more kind of like time management. Just quick little tips on how to manage your day better in a minute and stuff like that. So we'll have those coming up as well. And then also, I know we had the multi-tracking and the Spanish language thing going strong. I think I mentioned this last week too. That's on hold right now, but we will be back with that, and we will do what we did with the Excel beginner video. We will, once we have the Spanish versions of those, we'll be releasing those as standalone videos. And then also, we have a ton of videos that are going to be what I call Insta drops coming very soon. You guys will see that coming next week. We're really ahead of the game right now as far as production goes of what we have ready to put on the channel and everything like that. I think we're about 6 weeks ahead right now. Again, I'm not going to jump into what we have fully
Oh,
scheduled out
wow,
because it
yeah.
always changes. It always something always comes up. But with that being said, that we're going to get working on some videos that we've meant to release before we got to Office 2021. Specifically, that's the new Excel VBA 2019 videos, and then we also those are going to be taught by Trish, and she's also producing a 2021 version as well for you guys. That's going to be updated just for Office 2021 things. But those 2019 VBA videos, those will come as soon as we have them. As soon as we get them back from the editor and we do our final review, we're just going to drop those right onto the channel. So you have those to look forward to as well. I think I mentioned this last week, but that's kind of what's in the works right now. We have a holiday week, so there's, we didn't engage in any too much of a heavy project or anything like that. And then also, guys, we do have an Instagram. We do have a TikTok. You can just look us up, Learnit Training. We're on there as well. We're also on the Twitter and Facebook. You just look up Learnit Training or Learnit Anywhere, either one of those, and you'll find us there. And you'll find our short videos there and a whole bunch of other posts that you might like. But yeah, that's what's upcoming. And so, without further ado, Joe, let's jump into Power BI and the new interface.
Power BI, Power BI. And by the way, I can't wait for the VBA too. I mean, Trish is amazing just with every type of thing that she does. But VBA, I think, is one of the best languages to really start off with if you're getting into a programming language. Me and Chelsea have done little VBA battles here and there, but there's just so much more you can do with VBA. So I really do love it. But yeah. Hi, SS. How you doing?
Yeah, ISS.
Let's get right into it. I did have Ben. I know you gave the file to everyone, so if you want to follow along with me during this, you're more than welcome to. If you want to rewatch the video later on, because we only have 30 minutes, so I'm going to go a little faster than normal, then yeah, of course, you're more than welcome to. But let's just get into it because Power BI, the interface changed, I want to say about probably like 3 months ago. And it totally threw me off guard. And that's why you should consistently just check in on your Power BI interface or just Power BI, the application itself, because, they're updating it every month. And when I say every month, I literally mean every month. There's something new every single time I teach it. So let me share my screen real quick. Let's get that weird effect. There we go. Can you see my screen, Ben?
Yep, sure can.
Awesome. So I just want to take a look at the data we're going to be using that was sent out to all of you. It's called Payroll 2022. It's fake data, of course. Nothing too crazy here. We do have some things like, the numbering system. So if you ever sort, you can always reorganize it back to the original entry. You have first name, last name, employee number, division, and so on and so forth. But what I want to do is, as always, I want to visualize this because we're visual beings. We can't just look at this data and say, oh, yeah, we have that many employees in sales. Oh, yeah, we have that many hours in sales. No, we can't just stare at that. It'd be cool if we could, but that's why we have computers to do that for us. We're visual. So if we see a nice little bar graph that shows us, oh, sales has this many, research has this much, development has that much, it's easier for us to, take that in. So that's why visuals like this are really important. And that's why Power BI is such a major tool in the workforce today. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is open up my Power BI desktop. Now, I do recommend that you all do get Power BI desktop. It's free. You just search it on the Microsoft Store and download it. You do not need to sign up for the web service or anything like that to start using this software. Although you cannot publish unless you have an account and a license to publish. So that may be something that you want to look into if that's what you're going to be doing, or if you're embedding it on like a SharePoint site. But you'll see here, this pop-up notification, I keep this on every single time. The reason being is because right away, if you're new to Power BI, look at this. They give you a ton of tutorial videos, right? Not only that, but you can keep up to date on what's new every single month in these monthly updates. This is really something that I look into because I'm training this constantly. As I said, literally every month they update the software. So just taking a look here, you're going to notice I'll click the X on this. The visualizations has changed majorly. So what do I mean by that? Well, it used to be a little different. It used to have the formatting in a different spot. So the first thing we're going to do here before we even get into showing you those differences is we're going to load the data in. And we're going to use that same old-fashioned ETL that I usually talk about when we talk about transforming data. So ETL. The E stands for extraction. So the first thing that we're going to have to do is, of course, extract the data. Then once we extract the data from whatever data source, whether it's Excel or a SQL Server or Access or even Salesforce now, we can then transform the data so it works for us. And we do that in Power Query. And then the last thing we have to do after we transform it is, of course, load it into Power BI so we can start creating beautiful visuals. So that's your ETL, extraction, transformation, and then loading it back in. So that's what we're going to do today. The first thing we're going to do is extract the data from Excel. And let me tell you, just like Microsoft's old-fashioned, there's multiple ways to do the same thing. For instance, I could get data, and I can either get it from the Excel workbook. I can just click on this button, Excel workbook. I can click on this button over here, get data, or I can click on this button over here, import from Excel. So yeah, 4 different ways. They all do the same thing. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick whichever one you want, right? So I don't mind. So I'm just going to click on any one. I'll just click on this one because it's right there. And I'll do import data from Excel. It's going to pop up the dialog box, the file explorer, ask you, Joe, what file are you looking at? I'm going to choose my payroll 2022 and click open. It's going to open it up into the navigator. And then you'll see here that we do have 2 sheets in this file. We have this Canada sheet. And if you just want to simply preview something, just click on it. And I see here, well, you know, that's not the data I wanted. So I'll click on payroll. And that looks good. The only thing is there is a bunch of null values here, and we would have to clean up this data. But here's a little trick. Even though you're looking at payroll, you're not looking at the table itself. So you'll see all of these nulls. Sometimes you'll see even null, like look at all this. There's nothing in column 12 through 15. You could clean that up if you want to in Power Query. But why even do that? When if you go down here, it says suggested tables. If you click on this table 1, look how beautiful. The headers are all nice in place. There's no null values. So you're more than welcome to either use the sheet where you have to do some transformation, or if it's in a table format, you could just simply click on table 1 and just use this data without having to clean it up and spending your time on doing that, which is what we're going to do today to save time. But what I always recommend is you still click on transform data. It's just a habit you should get into. Extraction, transformation, take a look at it, see if it's good for use in Power BI, and then load it into Power BI. So I never click on load. I click transform data all the time. Now we're in the Power Query editor, same thing, right, as Excel. So you'll see ribbons and different tabs, and you'll see command groups. But our data looks perfect because we chose it as a table. So now I could just simply click close and apply, which you can find in that home tab. And click close and apply. And once you do that, it's going to load it in here. And you'll see over here in the fields pane, once the data is loaded, you'll see all of the headers of the data that are just holding all the information. So if I click into this little caret here, you'll see my benefits will be here, my date of hire will be here, department, division, employee number, and so on and so forth. But where the biggest changes come into play in this interface is the visualizations pane. For instance, let's say we want to make a visual. We want to do, I don't know, let's do, how many employees do we have per division? So I think, you know which visual I'll use? I'll use the clustered column chart. So I'll give that a click. Now I'm going to just close out the filters. You don't need to use this right away, so I will close the caret so I get more of a little page there instead of having it halfway eaten up by the filters. And you'll see here that it's going to say, Joe, do you want to build your visual? And I actually love this. This never was like this before. It was just your visualizations and you would have to put in your information. And then they have right next to it, Joe, after you build it, do you want to format it? I really like the way they set this up in the new interface, because if you think about it, that's pretty much what we do with anything, right? Like, let's say that I was building like a I don't know, a dresser. The first thing I'm going to do is get the wood. I'm going to build it. And then afterwards, what are you going to do? You're going to paint it. You're going to make it your favorite color, whatever you want. So same thing, what they're saying here is, Joe, build your visual. And then after that, format your visual. And we all know format simply means appearance. So it means paint your visual whatever way you want to. So I'll go into build my visual. And I'm going to take division and just click and drag that into the X axis. And I'm going to take employee number, and it's going to do a count since it's not a numeric value. And the reason I know this is because you'll see this little symbol if it's a numeric value. You'll also see a little counter if it's a calendar or date value. And if it has nothing here, then it's just a text value. And when you put a text value somewhere, it does a count instead of a sum, right? So if I did like hours, it would summarize them. It would even say, this is the sum of the payroll hours. But if I take employee number and put it in here, it'll be a count of the employee numbers because it's not a numeric value. And now I have exactly what I want. I built this beautiful little visual here, and it tells me how many employees I have per division. And if I just hover, I see, oh, I have 15 employees in New Hampshire. I have 25 in Vermont. I have 28 in Maine. Then I also have 30 in Connecticut. But to be honest, we just built this, but I don't like the way it looks because right now the way it looks is based off of Microsoft's, I guess, favorite color, right? Or whatever way they decided that this was going to be the default look when you first create something. So what I want to do is I want to spice things up. I want to make it look the way I want it to look. And that's where we go into our next part here, which is totally new. You never had this. All of these commands here were down here at one point. They were over here. If you remember, some of you might even still have this version where it is down here. But this is the new interface. So when you click into format your visual, they actually moved a lot of stuff around. It's not all in one place anymore. There's two things. There's called visual and general. Now the general is going to have things like properties, which I don't use that often because the properties is the size, which I could just use the sizing brackets to do that. And then the position is literally the horizontal and vertical position on the page. Once again, I could just move it around to do that. If you wanted like specific specifications and details, you could use these, but I typically don't. Title is on here as well. I don't like the way the title looks. It says like count of EMP number. Some people might not know what that means. So I'm just going to change that and say employees per division. And I think that looks good. I also do want to change the font. You can change the font to whatever. I'm going to use Arial Black. I'm going to make it a little bigger. I'll do 16. I'll bold it. I'll underline it. I'll change the color of it to, I don't know, let's do red. And then I will align it in the middle because that's just the way I am. By the way, if you're following along, you can do whatever you like. You don't have to follow me step by step. Pick your favorite color. Pick if you want to bold it. Pick a certain font. Once I'm done, I always tend to do this. I close the caret. That's just a habit that I've, created because if you open up all of them, you're going to have so much to scroll through. So every time I do something, I then close it and I move on to the next, like effects. What do I want in effects? Do I want to color the background? Ooh, look at that. Do I want a visual border? I do. I'm going to turn that on and I'm actually going to round the corners. I don't know. I think that looks good. Now, besides just the general, right, where we have some of those basic, I would say, formatting, we're going to want to format everything else. So, for instance, maybe I want to format New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut. I might want to format the column colors, right? Maybe instead of having to hover over to see that 25, I want the 25 in the middle of the column, right? That's stuff we can do. And that's where we're going to be in our visual section here. Now, if you don't know what something is, what my recommendation is turn it on and off. Like if I'm looking, I'm like, what does X-axis mean? What does that do? If I turn it off, oh, okay, so the name of the divisions disappear. If I turn it on, oh, they come back. Okay, so I know what I'm affecting now. So if I want to change the color of these, it's going to be here. And then I can make them a little bigger. I can change the color to red. And I think that looks good. Then I close it out. If you ever see this little sign, it's just telling you, Joe, we're trying to fit everything. I know you said you wanted 12 font, but we can't because you didn't make the visual bigger. Just go like this, and then it'll disappear. Or you can squeeze it, whatever works. And then you can make them as big as you like. So that's all it's telling you. It's just saying, hey, Joe, the font was reduced because the size of the visual just isn't matching. So don't worry about that. That's not really affecting much. Now I'm going to click on the y-axis. What does that do? I'll click it on. I'll click it off. Oh, okay. It's affecting the numbers. So I know for a fact that that's going to be affecting 30, 20, 10. So I'm going to click the drop down. And I can even change the range. Maybe I don't want to end at 30. Maybe I want to end at 35. Or maybe I want to end at 40. Let's add a 40 on there. And whatever you like. I'm just going to auto it, though. I think that looks good. The values themselves. What do I want to do? Maybe I want to make them a little bigger. Maybe I want to change the color to red. And look at that. Everything is just working. I really don't like the title. It says count of EMP again. So I will change that title to employees count or something. Employee count. I think that looks good, right? Let's turn our heads a little bit. Employee count looks great. And then that's it. I think that looks good. I may also want to just change. I know that this is, and these are minor details, but when I'm in Power BI, I'm very nitpicky. So for instance, this is all looking great. This is all capitalized. I don't like that. So I do want to just go back to the title here on the x-axis and just type in divisions. And there we go. That's it. You don't have to do those things, but you'll have your own flow around those things. For the grid lines, I could barely see them. They are dotted. I'm going to go to grid lines, and I'll change that color to black. Let's see what it looks like. I love it. If you are like, Joe, I don't like the dots, use dashed. You can use dash. You can use solid lines. Whatever makes sense for you. You can change the width of those lines, make them a little deeper. I think that looks good. For the zoom slider, what is that? Turn it on. Try it out. Who knows what it is? Ready? Turn it on. Oh, okay. So it makes a little slider here. And you can zoom in on the data. If you're like, I don't really need that, turn it off. Columns. Let's take a look at the columns. Right now, it's showing all the colors. Now, this is where it's going to be a little different. So it is showing the default for all the colors. So if you change something, it changes it for everything. But you can show all, turn that on, and then you'll get each individual one. So I can say Connecticut could stay blue. Let's do a green color. If you don't see it here, just go to more colors. And you can choose a lighter green. I think that looks good. I'm going to do a red. And I'm keeping it kind of like a light color for everything. Let's do a light yellow. Perfect. And now we're really just making things happen here. Data labels, I said I wanted the middle right here. I wanted, instead of hovering, I wanted to say 28 in the middle. So I will turn on data labels. And then I see that they're turned on, but I don't like where they are. They're at the top. So I'll change the position to the inside center. If you're like, I can't really see that, change the color of the values. There you go. And now what I'm seeing here is a beautiful little chart. And we can move this chart over here. I think that looks great. We can create another chart. Make sure you click away, because if you're clicked on a chart, right? I know that I'm selected on this because of the sizing brackets. If you click on, like, let's say a gauge, you're going to be like, oops, I lost my stuff. Don't be nervous. Just simply go back to what it was. It was a clustered column chart. It keeps all your formatting. Click away from the visual, and then click the next visual you want to use. And let's say that we want to just create a quick little hours in the values. And it'll do a little hours thing. Once again, we build the visual, and then right next door, we modify it, we format it, we paint it to the way we want it to look. And I just don't like the way it does like 7.02 or 0.00K or 3.51K. I like regular numbers. So I go over here. I also don't like how it's at 7,000. I want it to be like 4,200 so that this comes over a little more. So I'll do maximum 4,200. That looks good. It'll never get to 7,000. That's why I did that. It's probably max out at 42. Colors. Maybe I want the fill color to be a little different. I could choose whatever I want. Maybe a nice purple. That looks good. And then for my data labels, if you're wondering what are those, remember, just turn them off. Have some fun with this. Turn it off, turn it on. Okay, so I see it's affecting the 0 and the 4.2. So I'll go over to the data labels. I don't like the display units as auto. I typically do none, so I get a full number here. And I don't like decimal places, so I do 0. Same thing with the target label. What is that? Turn it on and off. Nothing. It does nothing, so I'm going to skip over it. What's the callout value? Turn it on and off. Okay. So I'm going to affect that one. I'm going to call it none, right? I don't want, once again, the display units. I don't like it being like decay, and I don't like any decimals. Now for the more simple things like the general options, I do want to change the title. It says HRS. Some people might not know that, so I'll just type in total hours. I'll make it a little bigger here. Change the font to Arial Black. And by the way, once again, do whatever you want. You don't have to copy me on this one. And I'm also going to align it in the middle. I do want the visual border. I'll turn that on. I typically really like rounded corners, except for my slicers. And now I can put this over here. Let's make this one go like that. This one go like that. I think it looks good. The last thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a slicer, which is right here. You'll see it has a little filter icon. I'll create a fun little slicer. There's not much you can do to slicers, so I'm just going to put the department here. I'm going to make it smaller. Move it over. I might put a border on that. Once again, that's in general. You'll see there's not too many settings here. I'll do just a border. I don't like, it's weird. I like squared corners on my slicers, but I like rounded corners on my visual. I don't know, it's something weird, but that's just me. The last thing I'm going to do here is just simply insert a text box. You can go to the Home tab, go to Insert, Command Group, Text Box, and just put in a title for the whole thing. I'm going to call this one Joe's Fun YouTube. Let's do YouTube, Joe's Fun YouTube Report. And of course, you can make this any size that you want. You have all your tools right here, your formatting. I'll bold it, underline it, center it. I'll make it bigger. And let's take this, move it here. I'm going to make it a different color, though. I don't like the way the color is. Let's do a, yeah, that looks good. And with that said, we can even add some branding. I could do insert, image, Learnit's logo. And now we have a fun little interactive dashboard. And watch how cool this is. Ready? Let's take a look at development. What's going on in development? Oh, I have 908 hours for development. I have 9 development employees, 8 in Maine, 5 in Vermont, 3 in New Hampshire. What about research? Oh, pretty cool. 876. And everything is interactive. So pretty amazing. And we have now just built in about 25 minutes a interactive dashboard. It looks great, and it's ready to actually work and be functional. So hope you enjoyed that. You'll see, like I said, a lot of the interface changes were with the visualization pane. The fields pane stayed the same. The filters pane stayed the same. Your different sections, reports, data, and your model section, those all stayed the same as well. Model section, actually a little bit here. They now have properties here that pop up, but I think they had that in the past as well. It was just closed. But everything else is just the same. It's just mostly the visuals have changed on the interface. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, let me stop sharing my screen real quick and get right back in. There we go.
Just want to reach out to Funky Cart. Funky Cart, for sure, you should be able to get to 720. That's what it's broadcasting on YouTube right now. So the replay is always available immediately after the session ends. You could just jump back and pick up where it kind of maybe went fuzzy for you. So it should be at 720. It might be just an issue with YouTube's live streaming service or whatnot. Sometimes it happens. But on my side, and then through the live control and everything, like on the creator side of what we see while we're live streaming, we see it coming through at 1080. So that's
Oh yeah, it's pretty clear for me. Yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, no worries. It should, after the live stream, just feel free to go in the corner and you should be able to.
Now you can see. All right, perfect. Yeah, there might be a delay or something like that. Yeah, Joe, thanks for showing us all that Power BI changes. It's changed dramatically. Like you said, every month there's something new to learn. So yeah,
And I love the changes. As I said, it actually makes more sense than the old way it was looking, because like I said, you build something and then you want to change the way it looks immediately afterwards. So kind of that back and forth works great.
yeah, definitely does.
But yeah, we could do DAX expressions next time. I know a couple
Yeah.
of you asked for DAX. I have quite a few fun DAX expressions that we can do. But
yeah, next week will be DAX expression. And so let's say I don't really, we're already over time. So sorry guys, we don't have any time for any questions, but just a quick, I've almost forgotten earlier. We do have a podcast now as well, guys. It's on Spotify. Again, if you just look up the Learnit podcast on Spotify, you'll find us there. I think we have like 17 episodes up now, and I'll be scheduling 2 more today. So we're we have podcasts for you as well. So however you guys want to watch or see us or hear us, we have that available. Those are going to be more focused on time management, business writing, those types of topics, not so heavily on Excel, just because it's a lot harder to show you or just talk about how to use Excel without any visual aids. So so it's a little, that's why we went more on the management skill set there. But yeah, that's it for me. Usually I'm full of updates.
No. I got nothing. I hope you all enjoy that. Yeah, we'll talk about some DAX expressions. I'll do some DAX expressions that will show you what's being filtered. I could do DAX expressions that calculate different percentages and creating measures. That's going to be a huge thing for next week's show. But I think that'll be fun, and I'll just kind of demo the different ones, and then you can recreate them and copy them if you like afterwards. But with that said, thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. I'm out. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then on Friday, we have Offsite has their event. The topic escapes me right now. And then also we have Excel Expert 2021 by Foz, also at Friday at 9:30. That'll be the end of that series. And then I think we jump into PowerPoint or Word. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure it's PowerPoint, but PowerPoint 2021 right after that. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope you have a great week.
Bye.